Captain Algorm was smiling as he finally saw a prey worth taking. A Terran space truck. They were notorious for being filled with enormous amounts of precious cargo. This truck was looking even better because the last galactic year he was having a horrible time raiding ships. Either what he got was worth barely anything, or the transports were too well protected. So he mostly went after civilian vessels from other species. He sold said civilians to a shadow company from his kind's government, the Huriggi Coalition. There they would be bred to become livestock. The Galactic Council has been trying to put a stop to it, but had trouble since the Coalition was bigger and stronger than any other species out there. They would need to attack them with a 10-to-1 in their favour to even make a chance, but we breed way faster than any other species, even with our big size, meaning there was nothing they could do for the coming centuries. But that was not something Algorm cared about at the moment. He had a spaceship to steal its cargo from, and by the look of it, it would be a jackpot. A single spaceship hauling so many containers that it was nearly 10 kilometers long. His mouth salivating at the thought that he probably could buy a planet if it was completely filled, or if it was just barely filled, he could buy a dozen ships or so.
Attention, trucker. This is Captain Algorm, the Vile, of the pirate ship the Bone Gnashers. Unhook your cargo and then get out of here. If you are lucky, I might only turn you into a moving target for my ship's weapon systems, he said, as a deep, low rumbling came from his throat, meaning to intimidate others from getting funny ideas. Normally, any other ship would unhook and race off hoping to escape said weapon system, but this ship opened a comm channel with his ship. Algorm looked confused as the screen turned on its own. The Terran was a very thin and lanky man. He had a very white and frazzled beard, and barely hidden by the beard he could see the Terran's mouth, which was missing some teeth. The Terran was wearing what the AI identified as a cotton overalls and a reed hat on his head.
Well, gosh darn it! The darn gators have gone to space to get the rest of old Cletus. First you got my damn leg,
as Cletus said, as he lifted his left leg, which ended just below the knee.
And now you are here for the rest. Once you had a taste of old Cletus, you can't stop.
A loud-pitched cackle came from the Terran. Algorm was confused at best, as he never had anyone react like this, but before he could say anything, Cletus kept on talking.
Hot diggity damn, you're a big un, ain't ya? My scanners say you're bigger than old Daisy. Hell, Pop's truck before he crashed it.
While Cletus was talking, he was pushing all kinds of buttons, pulling levers, and among one must have been a scanner, otherwise the Terran couldn't have known how big Algorm was. Normally, knowing the size of his kind, the Huriggi, would be enough to scare anyone into submission, but this Terran wasn't even fazed by it. No, he seemed to be excited because of it.
Ma! Oi, Ma! Can you hear me? Found me something good!
Not long after, another broadcast popped up with a very elderly Terran woman wearing what looked like a flower-patterned dress, and a hairstyle that looked like some nest for some vermin.
What in the gosh darn damnation, Cletus? You gonna wake up your old pa from his nap? Now what you hootin' and tootin' about?
The older Terran, Ma, lifted up some glasses and squinted at the screen.
As I live and breathe, that's one gosh darn big gator. I'm now hankering for some barbecue. You better bring him and his pals home. I can't, Ma. I'm out doing the moonshine run, and all I got's me old pea shooters.
Cletus rubbed the back of his neck in embarrassment. Ma shook her head in disappointment.
Damnation, you foolish boy! I told you many times to always bring your irons when you're going for your moonshine run. Fine! I'll call your cuz Billy Bob to lend you a hand. I reckon he's in the neighborhood. Just use your pea shooter to keep them busy until he arrives.
Ma disappeared from the comm channel. Algorm wasn't even sure how she was even able to appear on his screen. Alarms were going ballistic all of a sudden, as the AI suddenly noticed some of the cargo containers opened up. Out of them came an unholy abomination of a railgun that seemed to be held together with duct tape and good wishes. For the first time in a long time, Algorm felt fear.
You heard, Ma! You're invited for the barbecue, and you're the main course!
Cletus laughed in a loud cackle as he pressed buttons. Everything around the Bone Gnashers started to light up as the railguns opened fire. End of recording. Bone Gnasher Aftermath. Recording was recovered from the remains of the Bone Gnawers after the Galactic Council security forces received the distress signal. now used in training cadets when interacting with independent Terran civilian worlds. Start recording. Huriggi investigation on Terran world LOU 1S14N4.
This is Agent Kazur from the Council Investigation Force. The agency started to hear rumors coming from a Terran civilian world about Huriggi Coalition citizens being on the planet. After the surprising purge of all the Huriggi Coalition worlds, which decreased their population by at least 90%, but which allowed the Galactic Council to liberate all the species that had been turned into livestock, Agent Kazur said as he walked over a muddy path towards some ramshackle homes made of wood.
Bloody gosh darn it! One of them grey bastards! Bet you that they're here to probe them cows!
Agent Kazur never understood why Terran said that his kind would probe cows. The only answer he ever got is that they apparently look very closely to how Terran media thought aliens looked like. If you remember correctly, they called us the Greys.
Good evening. I am Agent Kazur from the Galactic Council, working for the Council Investigation Force. I'm here because there are reports of illegal Huriggi people being on this planet,
Agent Kazur said as he flashed his badge.
Huriggi? Never heard of them folks in my life. Have you heard of them, Jimmy Bob?
Can't say I ever have, Otis. Maybe Ma knows more. Let me call her for you. Before Agent Kazur could reply, a loud and shrill scream came from Jimmy Bob. Ma! Some Grey is here for ya! An elderly female Terran walked in a brisk pace from the house, wearing a flowery dress and some glasses.
You're the Grey? What you want?
Agent Kazur explained once more why he was here, and the elderly woman called Ma frowned. You sure about this? I don't remember seeing any of them Huriggi, just us and them gators. Just at that moment, Agent Kazur saw a movement to his side and quickly turned towards the source. It's a Huriggi, who is up his lower body in swamp water, butt naked.
Please, I beg you, I just want to go home.
Agent Kazur never knew a Huriggi could look sad, and this one looked like he was devastated. Agent Kazur turned towards the Terrans, not looking amused at all.
I thought you said there were no Huriggi on the planet. Then what you call that?
He asked firmly, while looking at the Huriggi.
That's no Huriggi, that's a gator,
the Terran elderly woman said as she crossed her arms, not impressed with his serious demeanor.
Please, I just want to go home,
the Huriggi said softly.
Shut your trap, and make love to sweet old Daisy. She wants a nice clutch of gator babies.
In the distance, a loud rumbling sound could be heard that Agent Kazur's AI identified as horny alligator noises.